Jeff Gordon, a man that holds some of the largest significance in the history of NASCAR. Gordon helped lead NASCAR into its boom period in the late 90s and early 2000s, but inevitably, the Wonder Boy had the years catch up to him. And even so, the performance was still there for Jeff Gordon, as his 2014 season was actually one of his best post-Evernham seasons in his career. But even with that, his time was waning, and he would retire at the conclusion of the 2015 season. And it wasn't a terrible season by any means, leading up to the fall Martinsville race. With 4 top 5s and 17 top 10s, he was still good, but there was some clear regression. Even so, he was in the round of 8 and still in championship contention. But to make it, he would need to do 2 things. He would need to stay up front from a 5th place starting spot at Martinsville and beat the other playoff drivers. Now, I can tell you from being there almost 5 years ago that it was quite chilly and raining that day at Martinsville. So, the race had to start under a green-yellow condition, at least for the first 7 laps. But once it went green, Gordon made his way to the front. He was the master at Martinsville, and Hendrick had been quite good there at the paperclip in the recent years. Johnson won in 2012. Gordon won in 2013, and Dale Jr. beat Gordon to the line in 2014. The 2014 one being a little soul-crushing for Gordon, as he led for most of the day, only for mistakes to ultimately cost him the race and ultimately a chance at the 2014 championship. So 2015 could prove to be redemption, as on lap 44, he actually took the lead to the applause of the crowd, a far cry from the boos that he would receive only a decade prior. But this wasn't to last, as the 24 wasn't the dominant car of the day. That honor would be attributed to Joey Logano's 22, and then he would be followed closely by Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, and Kurt Busch. 3 of these drivers would actually get into each other earlier in the race, as Kenseth had little patience for the Penske drivers, moving Brad Keselowski on lap 100 and Joey Logano on lap 258. Logano had swept the round of 12, and he had done so in part by spinning Matt Kenseth out of the lead at Kansas. Even with this, Logano was dominant and looking likely to win his 4th consecutive victory and lock himself in as a favorite for the championship. The race, on top of being slowed by rain, was also slowed by cautions, as by lap 434, there were 14 cautions already. But it didn't stop Logano from being dominant, falling no lower than 4th position all day. But on the restart, on the 435th lap, much of the dominant group that had been up front all day was eliminated.
Now just Kurt, still there.
Oh, around goes the 20.
Keep coming, shove through it.
Kids at the round, out in front of the field. The 41 has damage. Joey Logano clears him, but the 2, incredible damage on the 2 of Brad Keselowski as well.
This changed everything, as Logano was far and away the best driver in the field now. But trouble loomed on the horizon as an enraged Matt Kenseth rejoined the competition. Back in 2015, there was no damaged vehicle policy, so the hobbled 20 car would be let back out and he would be out looking for a vengeance. Well, I'll just let the replay do the talking for me.
And Kenseth cleared by Logano, maybe no! Kenseth takes him out! Logano into the wall! Caution comes out and the crowd roars!
What's going on down here?
I know we had talked about it after what we saw a couple weeks ago. I was the first to say I never expected that to happen out of the 20 car.
Helmets coming off of the crew members of the 20. Joey Logano stuck in the grass. Matt Kenseth was leading. Joey Logano running second. You can tell how the fans feel about it. The red flag is out as they will have to clean.
The crowd, including myself, went absolutely ballistic. The only time I'd heard a crowd cheer that loud at a race was when I was at Dale Jr.'s 2012 Michigan win. Every time Logano was shown on the video boards or you heard his name on MRN, the crowd booed, and just about anything from Matt Kenseth sent us cheering. Many from MRN the day after actually accused us of being bloodthirsty and not real race fans. And I'm pretty sure that I speak for everybody who was there that day by saying that they can kiss our ass. That was an amazing moment to be there in person, and you saw it building up as Kenseth slowed down to make sure Logano caught him. Now, glossed over in the controversy at that moment, though, was that Gordon took the lead. And even though he lost it pitting, the AARP 24 car was the new dominant car. With 22 to go, he made his move.
Bumper the 47, I think he's got a muscle by.
We'll see how accurate that is. He's to the bumper. The rotor's already glowing on the 24, braking hard.
The 24 has working for him. There's no pressure from behind, so he doesn't have to push the issue right now as he makes the move.
Here goes Jeff Gordon. Gordon leading at Martinsville.
And he did not have to make contact. He was able just to easily pass Allmendinger. He didn't want to make contact. He didn't want to cause a potential issue for himself. So
Gordon wasn't out of the woods yet, though, as Jamie McMurray was running him down lap after lap. Then, the 18th and final caution flew. One last restart would decide the fate of Jeff Gordon's final season.
Not a green-white checker.
oh, Jamie with a good run off turn 2. That's as good as you could hope for.
Side by side for the lead as they go into 3. McMurray a little higher through 3 and 4. The advantage to the 24. White flag in the air one more time around for Gordon. Jeff Gordon looking for a storybook ending to the 2015 season. Out of 3 and 4, this win's going to punch his ticket to the championship 4. Gordon wins at Martinsville.
Yeah, we're going to Martinsville. Yeah, that's how you fight. Hey, boys, that's how you do it.
Gets win number 93 on his career, and more importantly, he moves into a position where he could get his 5th championship. Gordon might be celebrating as much as we've ever seen.
These victory lane interviews, but I have never seen you celebrate like that.
Yeah! We're going to Homestead!
Most meaningful win of your career, Jeff?
It was a joke. I'm coming back next year. I'm just
You're going to unretire now?
no way, man. This is the sweetest, most amazing feeling. I'm so proud of this team. You want to talk about home back emotions? Right now, man, wow, we're going to Homestead, and I can't believe it. What an incredible battle that was. Hell, we just stuck with it.
With the win, Gordon made it to Miami, competed for a championship, and finished 3rd in points in his final full season. While he came back for 8 races in 2016 for an injured Dale Jr., 2015 would prove to be his last great chance at a championship. As for Joey Logano, an early crash at Texas ruined his hopes for the 2015 title, but he would go on to win one in 2018. As for Matt Kenseth, he would be suspended for 2 races after this. He would race for a couple more years, off and on, before 2020 more than likely being his final season. The big takeaway, though, still is that this shows to cap off the great legacy of Jeff Gordon's career and a great bookend to it. But that's all from me. I want to hear from you. So let me know down in the comments below, where were you when Jeff Gordon won his final race? And how did you react? While you're at it, leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.